All right, good day, family. I hope you guys are having a great one. We're going to be starting here momentarily. You're watching SambaTree in the lab. And we're going to take you in the lab here for just not too long. Just a little time of education here. And just in the meantime, we're going to give people time to get on. All right, we're getting ready to start now. Thank you so much for joining us this wonderful, wonderful day. And I hope hope it's nice where you are. And let's see, what was today like? Oh, today felt like I was telling my wife, I said, man, it feels just like SoCal out there today. I mean, it wasn't too hot, wasn't too cold. It was just really nice, really, really nice. And had a chance to sit outside for a good while, both yesterday and today, and get as much sun as I could before I started my day. And it's very difficult, I really would like to, it'd be nice if I had somewhere where I can actually sit down outside. It's just so abrupt. I mean, as soon as you step out, you're just out there. You know what I'm saying? So it would be nice to have something where I could just kind of sit down and eat. So I was trying to, my daughter and I, we were doing some kind of makeshift kind of thing. She was reading and I was eating lunch and just sitting out there. And it was just such a wonderful, wonderful day. And I love this time of the year where we're getting closer to the summertime, because it's where spring is almost got it figured out. When at first it's like, it's still trying to, like, I don't know, you know what I mean? And so you'll have a day where it's like warm, then it gets very cold, then it gets warm a little bit, then it's cold for a week, and here in the Northeast, we're technically still ain't out of the snow season. We're still not out of it. Because it can, I would say we're probably safe once we get towards the end of the month. Once we get to the end of the month, I think we're more in the safe zone, meaning, no snow. So I ain't trying to get no. We actually did pretty well. We didn't get too much snow, at least where we are. And in fact, I think I only remember it snowing once, but it was no accumulation, which was very strange for New Jersey. So anyway, what you're looking at right now, this is our Facebook page. If you're not aware that we have one, yes, now you are. So yeah, this is our Facebook page, and just wanted to let you know about that. And here we upload a whole lot of wonderful things on here. When we can, anything from videos. I'm trying to find the reels. Here they go. Here you go. This is what I was looking for. Where are my reels? I just uploaded one. Oh man, I uploaded one. I guess I didn't. I don't know what happened. Anyway, let me see. Hey, it didn't come up. Anyway, I don't know what happened, but I'll show you the videos. But anyway, there's videos oftentimes that I come across that I will upload here, that you guys can access. And as time goes on, we'll be adding more things to this, to the Facebook page. I'm just not like, I'm half stepping. I'll be honest with you on Facebook. Because Facebook, man, they will, you'll be running and you get your rhythm together, and then all of a sudden they'll just shut your page down for some crazy reason. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm just kind of like a little leery as far as putting too much into Facebook right now. But we do upload some things, and I just want y'all to know about that, okay? And so let's keep our dear sister Melody in prayer. She said something about her daughter was in the hospital. So yeah, just keep us up to date on that, Melody. Okay. Let's see here. I want to show you, let's start off with this video here. Did I? Okay. I'll just play it. I think I moved it on my computer here. Well, I'll just show you the channel. Hold on. I'll just show you this here. Just going to start off with this here. This guy, he only has like a few videos on, but I really, really like his vibe here. And let me get him up here. Hold on. All right, I'll just start off with this here. Copy link. All right, let's go and pull this up here. All right. This is some guy on TikTok I found, and he's showing how to make a smoothie, how to make a free smoothie without a blender. And let's check it out here. All right, so let me make sure my volume's up. There you go. And it be tripping. Hold on. All right. There we go. Okay, y'all can see that. There we go.
Today I'm going to show you how I make my own smoothies with no machine from scratch. Let's go. My mango trees are still in the growing process, but my neighboring farmer has one, a very healthy one, and I'm welcome to go there. What I want is whatever is from the ground because it's softer and more ripe. Okay, back to the land. I'm harvesting some papaya, and I wash everything nice. I peel the papaya, get rid of the seeds. Guess what? Holy mortar. Use my hands in order to make sure that the seeds are squeezed properly and separated. And I keep on squeezing with my hands. Hey, make sure your hands are clean. I sieve all the juice out and check the smoothness in its fineness. Hey, the definition of smoothie. Speechless. Actually, I have only 2 words, and you already know what they are. Another banger.
Woo! That looked good. Oh, stop. Woo, that looked good, didn't it? Oh my goodness, that looked good. Whew. I tell you, you can do wonders with that cheesecloth, man. You can do all kinds of stuff with that cheesecloth, man. Didn't that look good? Yeah, man, I tell you, I went to the farmer's market this past weekend, and it was, I think I went Thursday. That's what it was. I went Thursday, and you get a case of mangoes. Those small mangoes, the ones that kind of shaped like a peanut. I don't know what type that's called, but yeah, they're yellow and they're shaped like that. Anyway, you get a whole case of them, for $5, right? And I knew they were ripe, but these were I think these were the Black History Month specials. Because when we took it home and I sliced it open, man, it was black, my brother. It was black inside. I was like, oh man, they sold me the Black History Month ones. But the next day I went back because I couldn't use them because I wanted to make a smoothie. I wanted to make a smoothie in a blender. Okay, so I'm not at this level what my brother was just showing you just now, but yeah, I wanted to make a smoothie, but I couldn't go far with that. So thankfully I make use of it in other ways, because usually I toss them out there and deer eat them. So there you go. And then, so anyway, I went out there the next day, and because the farmer's market's not that far, they usually open like on the latter half of the week. And I think it's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. That's when they're open. And so, yeah, the next day, they just happened to get some fresh ones, some very fresh mangoes. And they gone. I got a whole case of them literally within maybe a day and a half. Completely gone. Those things were so good. And yeah, I'm going to be getting a lot more of those, in the next time they up. So when I tell you I love mangoes, if there was a mango I'll tell you how much I love mangoes. I would do mango toothpaste, mango soap, mango, I don't know, just anything, man. I love it. That's like one of my favorite fruits are mangoes. And so yeah, so we had that, and then they had some other stuff there too. Also picked up a coconut, a white coconut, and was able to get some juice out of that. And I still got the meat down there somewhere, so it tasted good. And it just reminded me of my time when we were living in Florida. Man, you just have coconuts all over the place. It was a grocery store in the part of town where a lot of Haitians and Jamaicans and people from the Caribbean where they live. So you go down there, and it's a grocery store that has food from that part of the world, like South America, Central America, the Caribbean, and all of that. So so that's the grocery store to go to. And yeah, this one, it was a local brand. I think it was Food Town. That was the name of it. And then, of course, a grocery store like that isn't complete unless it has a Jamaican restaurant inside of it. So yeah, so we would go there and you say, okay, I want some, you're gonna get what you gonna get, jerk chicken, or you're gonna get curry goat, or something like that. And when I tell you, they would stack that plate up. And my son, he was going to high school at the time. Right after school, he would get on his motorcycle, ride down there, and find a way to put it in his backpack. Now, mind you, you on a motorcycle, so you have to sit up. He would be riding. He would get his food, because like I told you, they would stack it, man. When I tell you, gosh, I would go back down there, because these Caribbean folk up here in the Northeast, y'all, I don't know, man. Y'all get new on us here. You charging full price, but down there it was like, I'm a local price. So anyway, he would be on his motorcycle, literally lean all the way as low as he can go, so that because if he sat up, that food is going to slide all over. But fortunately, this place, what they would do is, because they knew they were giving you a lot of food, so they would get that shrink wrap and wrap it around too. So he would get that, and then when you would go out in the parking lot, every now and then the coconut man would be out there. It would be him and his little son, and he would have his pickup truck, and in the back of it be full of coconuts right there in Florida. And then he said, how many you want? He'd get his machete out, cut it open for you, put a straw in it. I forgot how much it was. It was cheap. So you drink your coconut water, your fresh coconut water, and then you would get your Jamaican food. Oh my goodness. I tell you, that's why I love the tropics. That's why I know that's where we're from. That's where we're from. I just love it so much. So palm trees, and give me some good food and some coconut water and some freshly squeezed juice. Man, I tell you what, I'm gonna be nice and sleep after that. So anyway, now that we talked about food and all, but again, I just want to thank you guys and welcome you to our SambaTree in the lab. So today, what we're going to do is we're going to be talking about once again, we're going to look at the importance of water. We cannot talk about this topic enough, and why one of the reasons why water is very important. We're going to also look at what your local water processing companies, including the bottled water companies, what they're doing to your water. So we're going to get into that a little bit. And then we're going to show you just a little household experiment on something that pretty much everyone has in their house. And we're just going to talk about that and how they're all related, between water and this, this other stuff, what we're going to be showing you, how it's all related. But first, did you guys hear about what just happened I literally just caught this maybe a half an hour ago. Let me pull this up here. Hold on. Give me just a moment right there. There you go. All right. Did you hear that this just happened? Truck hauling contaminated soil from East Palestine derailment cleanup site crashes. I mean, are these folks just trying to crash this thing? I'll tell you. Anyway, it says a driver hauling contaminated soil from East Palestine, Ohio train derailment cleanup site crashed in Columbiana County on Monday. According to the Ohio State Patrol, troopers were called to the area of State Route 165 near Waterford Road around 1 p.m. for the single vehicle crash involving a tractor with a trailer. So there you go right there. And they said a preliminary investigation revealed that the commercial vehicle was traveling northbound when it went off the right side of the roadway, struck a ditch and utility pole, and ultimately overturned, law enforcement said in a release. Let me see here. They said it was 40,000 pounds of contaminated soil from the cleanup site. About 20,000 pounds of soil spilled onto the road and berm. They said, according to Ohio EPA, the spill was contained and not a threat to nearby waterways. Yeah. And then it goes on. Okay. So that just happened. Okay. So, what's the moral of the story to this? The moral of the story should be yet another wake up call as to why, family, we cannot take for granted, our food supply and our water supply, and how we really have to be an active participant in what we bring home and put on our tables. Because again, I was in the store today, and this older woman came up to me and she was mad. I mean, not mad at me, but she was just like, did you see the price of bread? Like that. She said, look over there. She said, it's not now. I don't know what kind of bread she was talking about. She said, it's like $6 now, And she said, you would think that the government should be able to do something about this. And I was like, I just keep it moving. I told you, when I'm in the store, I just keep it short to the point. I'm trying to get from A to B, B to A. And and I walked away thinking, I said, it's unfortunate. I said, you have people out here who still believe that the government cares for them and cares enough, and sees, in this case, this older woman who, you got some issues, like everybody else, with the rising prices of food and all of this stuff. But yet in the back of her mind, she believes that the government should care about this. Well, again, I'm here to tell you the government doesn't care about it or you. And that never has and never will. And so, especially in this day and time now, more than ever, we do need to be very involved. I mean, very involved. And again, it's not about being paranoid or anything like that. You certainly don't have to or need to be that. But you definitely want to be one that asks questions, when you get food at a restaurant, or, if you're going in the grocery store, definitely make sure. I'm sure many of you already do this. But read those labels and see what they're putting in it and all of that. Just because it got a nice, friendly farm on the front of it doesn't mean that the farm actually looked like that. You'll be surprised what these farms actually look like, where your turkey bacon and your milk and all of that comes from. And, same thing with fish. You got to be very suspect. I was at Costco and the other day, and they had I can't think of the name of the fish right now, but it's a very good fish. And I was like, oh man, that looks pretty good. It's expensive, but which meant I wasn't going to get it, but I was surprised that they actually had it. And And so I looked at it closely, and it was like farm raised. Stay away from anything farm raised. Leave it alone. Leave it alone. Oh, but they got set. Leave it alone. It's farm raised though. Leave it alone. Like and then sometimes they play around with the labels. Like they won't say farm fresh or farm raised. They'll say something like from hook to table or something like that. Seriously, my wife and I, we were somewhere and they said something like that. It was like freshly caught. It was in a controlled environment. It was something that they used. And I was like, so basically it's farm raised. I mean, they play around with these terminologies. If it doesn't say farm, if it doesn't say wild caught, and even with that, you got to be careful, because wild caught sometimes can be an asterisk by that as well. So you just got to be careful. You know what I mean? And because again, the things that they're talking about doing, as you just, I'm sure many of you have heard that, some of these ranchers now are signing on to allowing these their cattle to be injected with these I don't know, they're saying with the vaccines or something, but they're allowing them to be, but the thing is, family, a lot of these cattle, a lot of the meat that we get has been injected with a lot of stuff anyway. So them adding that, of course, is something you should be very concerned about. But, this is what it is. So it's very critical and very important for all of us to make sure that we're taking a very active role in the food that we, put on our tables and the water that we certainly drink. So we're going to be talking about that tonight. Okay. But I do want to bring up our webpage again for those who are not familiar, and this is your first time here. Our webpage here is SambaTree, SAMBA, SambaTree.com. And this is where we sell a lot of wonderful things here. And like we just released this week, the dried fig leaves. And we just introduced that this week. So once a month, or sometimes even twice a month, we slow it down. There's sometimes a list of things that we can just roll out just like that. But we're like, man, let's just kind of piecemeal it a little bit, so we don't overwhelm folk. So this month we released the dried fig leaves. And that has been going quite well. And one thing you'll notice about our page, we will put all the benefits, as much as possible that, these different items have. And you could definitely check that out. Okay. Also, we have and then we got a full line of different things here on our SambaTree page, such as black seed oil. Finally this week, now we don't sell this. I just bought it. Chia seeds. Now, some of y'all already been on that wagon. I have not. Okay. I used to see my wife do it. I would see other people do it. Sometimes when I get a, not a pitaya bowl. It's basically like a fruit bowl. I can't think of it right now, but anyway, they put chia seeds on it. So I was like, oh, okay, just whatever. But my daughter, she's the one that she's really the one that be educating me on some things sometime. And, so chia seeds, I've been learning about that as well. And, everything from putting it in your water to putting it on top of your, and putting it in your tea, cold tea, preferably, I guess, and just the many, many benefits of it. Cause she was like sitting there and I'm just listening and listening to her. And she was just talking about how in our American diet, we don't get enough fiber. And acai bowl, thank you. Yeah, because pitaya I just can't do. Yeah, it's acai bowl. But yeah, so we don't get enough fiber. We do not get enough fiber. They strip so many things away from our bodies, from our food. And so fiber is definitely one of them. And so chia seeds is a great way to add fiber to your diet, amongst other things. It's a lot of other benefits too. And also what I've noticed too, those seeds may be small, but you eat enough of them and they'll fill you up, and there's no taste to them. So if you, let's say, for example, if you're just drinking your water, like bottled water or whatever, add some chia seeds to it. You really won't tell the difference other than, these little black things in it. So if you freaked out about that, they're little seeds that really don't have any flavor at all. And what it does is they're tiny seeds, and then as they get hydrated or rehydrated, they start getting formulating a little gel on it. I kind of like it. There's no flavor to it, and then you just drink that thing right up. And what it does is, like, it was like yesterday, I was like, I should be eating now, but I'm not hungry. But I want to eat something because I got something good in the refrigerator that I've been waiting to eat, but I'm not hungry. And I couldn't eat. I couldn't make myself eat it. And I was like, that's probably those chia seeds. So it does that too. It fills you up. Tiny seeds, but they do a lot. Look them up. Go online and just do a quick search on all the benefits of chia seeds. And like I said, again, we don't sell those, at least not yet. But that's another thing that you can check out, man. And it's definitely making a difference with me because I'm like, okay, all right, I'm cool. All right, so here we go. So what else do we have on here? We got, of course, we have, speaking of seeds, we have black seed oil. We have whole black seeds. Black seed oil is good for a number of things. One of the ways that it can be used is if you're having a toothache, for example. You have a tooth that's bothering you. You know how you do oil pulling? You guys have heard of that, right? People recommend coconut oil, or you take water and mix it with charcoal. Not charcoal like out of the grocery store, y'all. Not that. Don't get a briquette of charcoal. Not that. I'm talking about charcoal like, that you use, that you can use for the purpose I'm talking about, right? And then, you can swish that in your mouth for like a few minutes or whatever, and that pulls out the bacteria. Well, you can also do that with black seed oil. So black seed oil isn't just for ingesting, is also, you can use it for, if you're having a toothache, it's a great way of pulling out or extracting, that extra bacteria build up in those areas of your teeth that's giving you a problem. If you saw our last, was it in the labs that we did, I guess that was last week, we talked about colloidal silver. We showed you how you can make your own colloidal silver. That's another thing you can use if you're having a toothache, okay? Again, colloidal silver isn't something that we sell, but we just showed you last week how you can make it yourself and save a bundle. So, of course, we have all kinds of stuff on here, such as all the bitters and stuff like that. Chlorophyll, we're going to be talking about that tonight. And, of course, we have the Aaliyah, red Aaliyah sea salt, moringa powder, all kinds of wonderful stuff here. Different kind of natural seasonings, stuff for your body. We have natural, of course, organic teas. And then, of course, if you're interested in buying things by the bulk, well, you can do that too here, and save a lot by doing that. We have the essential oils. So again, the website is SambaTree.com. You can go ahead and check that out. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and get into it. What I want to do now is I want to share with you, I want to play this video for you. As you guys know, you've been following us. We have been really pumping and telling people the importance of getting your water from a natural spring if at all possible. Now, we showed you the website, and I'll bring it up again. I know for some of y'all, you're like, man, how many times you going to say? Trust me, there's a lot of our people that will hear me repeat things a million times and still email me and say, can you give me that website? And I'm like, I know you ain't asking that. Anyway, after I done said it how many times, but I'll still give it to you. But anyway, so this is the website again, findaspring.com. And tonight we're just going to talk a little bit more about why this is very important, even more important than buying bottled water. All right. And with this website, again, I have nothing to do with this website. They don't give me a dime. So don't think that I got some special deal, because if that's the case, I'm looking for my check, and let them know I'm waiting for my check. But as you can see on the screen here, all of these blue dots here represent where you can find a natural spring in your area. All right. So, I'm in the Northeast, of course, so you can see it's very plentiful there. But of course, as you start moving throughout the country, depending on what part of the country, as you can see, it gets a little more sparse, and then now once you start getting up in here in this area, you're gonna find this. It's a lot more sparse than, let's say, the Northeast. But it does mean you're gonna have to put in a little work to dry. But it's certainly worth it if you can do it. To find these natural springs to get your water. While people were panicking even recently here in New Jersey because of the recent spill that we had in our waterway, I was able to jump in my car, drive a little ways, and get all the water I can get. There was no line, nothing. And while everybody was crowding the stores and trying to get bottled water, we were straight. We were good. And so that's the goal here, is to get our people to be thinking ahead, to be very proactive in how you think, especially with this. So anyway, so what I'm going to do, so again, that website is findaspring.com. All right. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this, I'm going to share with you this first video, and I'm going to show you, I got like 1 or 2 slides, and then we're going to get into something else. Okay. So let me go ahead and figure out where this video is. And let's go. Have you guys ever heard of something called from toilet to tap? Yes, it's a thing. Yeah, you heard me right. From toilet to tap. That is a thing. All right. And it's been a thing for a while. So let's take a look at this, and you're going to see what I'm talking about. Let's take a listen to what they're going to say in this report.
Many people take.
Okay, hold on for a second. Let me get just remember my audio. All right, there you go.
Take clean tap water for granted, but getting that water into your home is a complicated, dirty, and a very smelly job. There are only 2 ways to reclaim dirty water, and of them involves turning sewer water into drinking water. That's right. For the guys who do it, it's one of the worst jobs they ever loved. Here's CBS 2's Dave Malkov.
That glass of water beside you right now?
Technically, it's starting right out there.
Meet John Vandenberg.
That water right there, that's the Santa Ana River. Yeah, I suppose there's an aspect to everybody's job that somebody else can't relate to.
And John McGuire, both hydrologists, water scientists for Orange County.
This is raw river water right here.
Part of their job involves washing their hands and getting them dirty at the same time.
Is treated water upstream, sewage treatment plants, they dump the water back into the river.
Right here, it's filled with all kinds of crap.
You name it, plastic bottles, tennis balls, sometimes some dead birds. Sometimes we'll actually even get dead dogs, you name it. There's people. That's pretty rare. I've never seen it since I've been here, but I've heard it does happen. Yeah.
When this water really gets moving, you can see what remains of someone's shower shampoo.
Beach balls, styrofoam, plastic bottles.
I'm going to flush out this bottle, and I'm going to stick it in the water.
They test the water filled with, well, you know what.
There's probably a lot of biological activity going on in there.
And clean it as well.
Just that one didn't make it to the frying pan.
Can you believe it's actually the mud that makes the water clean?
Sand material just acts as a filter, so to speak.
A little further south from that facility, there's a completely separate building where they, get this, change raw sewage water into water people drink. Take a whiff.
To be completely honest, I don't smell it anymore.
Oh, oh, your nose is different than mine. The sewer water has just arrived at this $490 million Orange County Water District facility. It bubbles and stinks, but it's about to be drinkable. Here's step 1.
This is a microfiltration module.
A series of tubes riddled with holes about 1/300th the size of a human hair, too small for large bacteria to pass through. 70 million gallons of sewage a day, then move on to the next building. So in here, you have about 22,000 super-sized Brita filters that you run it through.
Yes. And the water that's coming out of here is so pure that we actually have to add minerals back in, the same way the bottled water companies do.
Basically, it's too clean after it leaves here. This plant is the first of its size in the world to change toilet water into drinking water.
It measures how fast the water is moving past us.
Remember, all the testing that goes on over in Anaheim and all the filtering that goes on here in Fountain Valley eventually sends this water underground, then to millions of homes.
No room for error here.
That's why there's so many watchful eyes and grimy jobs along the way.
Some people can't relate to it because they're just different kind of people. But for me, this is a good fit.
It is a dirty job getting the water from pure nastiness to just plain pure. This is the water that's coming out of the facility, and it still has another process before it gets to your tap. In Fountain Valley, I'm Dave Malikoff, CBS 2 News.
All right, so what you just learned today is, now this is in California, but they're doing this in many other places as well, where they're taking toilet water or sewage water and they're recycling it. They're recycling the water and making it now where we're re-drinking the very same water that we did our stuff in, okay, along with everything else. Now, you sit here and you think, when you listen to this, the first thing that should come to your mind is, okay, now, according to what these people tell us, is that the majority of the earth is water. It's made of water. I mean, you look at all these oceans and the rivers and the streams and the lakes and stuff like that. So why is it that so you're telling me that our only option for water that we can consume is using the same water we went to bathroom in? That's the only option. Oh, that's not the only option, right? So now what I want to do is I want to play for you another video where we're going to talk about, where it's going to go into what really is going on, you know, because if you take note of that video, what I just showed you, you take note of all those different pipes and it's going in and out and up and down and all that stuff. I want you to make sure you keep that in mind too, because all of that has an impact on the water itself. All right. So what I'm going to do now is let me go ahead and I'm going to find this other video for you and I'm going to play that one. All right. So just give me a moment and I'll get this video up here. Okay, here we go. And let me get this up. Okay, got it? Okay, good.
Water. Fantastic hypothesis was put forward. A hypothesis that could explain water's unpredictable behavior. Water has memory. Experiments done in many countries around the world have shown that water receives and makes an imprint of any outside influence, remembering everything that occurs in the space that surrounds it. As it records information, water acquires new properties, yet its chemical composition remains unchanged.
The structure of water is much more important than the chemical composition.
The structure of water means how its molecules are organized. We can see how water molecules join together into groups. These are called clusters. Scientists came up with the idea that these clusters work as memory cells of a certain sort, in which water records the whole history of its relationship with the world, as if on magnetic tape.
People don't think when you turn on the light, the water is changing. When you turn on the electric field from the power lines, the water may change. So that is the direction of research.
The water, of course, remains water, but its structure, like a nervous system, reacts to any irritation. Modern instruments have made it possible to record the fact that within each of water's memory cells, there are 440,000 information panels, each of which is responsible for its own type of interaction with the environment.
If you consider a cluster as a group of specific molecules,
then it can survive only a short amount of time. But if you consider it as a structure whereby molecules can leave and other molecules come in, the cluster can last effectively for a very long time.
The stability of the cluster structures confirm the hypothesis that water is capable of recording and storing information.
It may be the single most malleable computer, which it's like a computer memory. It's the memory of information.
It is well known that the water supply in many large cities is a closed-loop system.
Now listen to this.
After undergoing aggressive chemical purification and passing through powerful filters, the water in these systems is returned to our homes, still remembering the chemicals and the violence it was subjected to. Even stronger, however, is the informational pollution that the water accumulates as it flows down miles of long pipes through thousands and thousands of houses and apartments. In nature, rivers and streams always flow along a smoothly curving course. But any water supply system has multiple right-angle turns. The natural structure of the water breaks down more and more with each such turn.
Water from a water supply system which flows into our homes through pipes has various forms, crystals of various forms, but they are all deformed. That is, it may look like this. It can look like this or have these crystals in many other arrangements, but you won't see any symmetry or beauty.
Here, the water was frozen in a cryogenic chamber and photographed under the microscope. The crystals of the tap water of the structured water.
Okay, so I can stop it here. The rest of this video is a guy. It's pretty neat. He came up with a technology that it kind of eliminates, the water that's coming into our houses. Those pipes and stuff that it has to go through, all those bends and stuff. Where he's come up with something where it goes through like a whirlpool kind of technology. It's pretty neat. But yeah, I'm not talking about that tonight. But yeah, so do you heard what they said there? So let's go back. So the first video that I showed you, as far as what they're doing with the water, because they put out this thing that, oh my God, we're running out of water. We're running out of water. Every time, let's just start from the beginning here. Every time these people tell us that we're running out of something, never believe them. Never, ever believe it. Because these are the same people, because they have to do that. Why? So that they can control prices. This is what they do with oil. Oh my goodness, we're about to run out of oil. I don't know if we're going to have gas for our cars. Think about the school buses. They're not going to be able to get the children to school, and you won't be able to go to the ballpark to take your little son for his first game, and all of that to get you all emotionally charged and all this stuff, because there's a perceived lack. Like, again, remember we talked about what the Rockefellers did when it comes to fossil fuels. There's a video. I think I uploaded a video about that, about fossil fuels and how they added the word fossil to that to make it seem as if it's a very limited supply. But in reality, fossils are only found, most fossils that they found are more on the surface. When they're drilling for oil, they're going past where any fossils can be found. So it's saying that what we call oil, it ain't dependent on any kind of fossils, but they do that to put that in your mind, to trick you, to make you think that, oh, it's just a limited supply. We're running out of oil here. We're going to have to come up with something else. So now they're pushing everybody to electric cars and all of that stuff. Well, the people that buy electric cars, well, guess what? You're still dependent on coal or oil coming from the power plant, because those generators, you think they just running on air? No, they need coal, they need oil in order to run. So you're just maybe 2, 3, 4 degrees away, separation of degrees away from still using the same stuff that everybody else is using. So these are the mind games and stuff that they play. So, and water is certainly one of them. And many of you have seen, I've heard in the news, like all these different big wigs out here that are buying, like Nestle, for example, and some, I'm sure Bill Gates is on it too, that are buying up all of these water rights all over the country, because they want to control it. And I was just chatting with someone just recently over on the continent, and I think I shared this. Maybe I didn't. I don't know. But in Congo, it's very difficult for them. If you go to Congo, like Kinshasa, you will find, when you want to get a bottle of water, right? If you were to say made in Congo on that bottled water, chances are people won't even buy it. However, so what they have to do to get around that, they have to put European country names on there. So they have to put on there from the Swiss Alps, from the Canadian Rockies, Italian water. They got to put that on there, and then people will buy it. Why? Because the perception is it's cleaner water. Meanwhile, you got the Congo River going all past you and all of that. It's just that the infrastructure needs to be in place to help clean the water so that people, because the perception is anything we make with our hands, it's dirty and it's not something of value. This is how crazy this is. You understand what I'm saying? So you got to depend on the Europeans to even provide you something that honestly that you have in your own backyard. And I think they actually do get their water from that region anyway, but it won't sell unless you put a European name on it. It's crazy. So, but the part of the video that I really want you to pay attention to is what they were saying as far as, these, when you are in this closed loop environment of getting this recycled water over and over again. And you just saw the scientists on there talk about how water can store memory. It's just the nature of it. And they've done many, many experiments and things like this on there. There's papers on this stuff, how water can, by nature, it stores memory. So what are the memories you are ingesting when you turn on that faucet? Or when when you're going to take a shower and all of that. And you wonder why things like depression, I'm not saying this is the root cause of it all, but you wonder, but it certainly, I'm sure, plays a part in it, in terms of the, when you talk about depression. Well, listen, all you got to do is go to places like in the deep South, and you see how dirty in some of these places, how the water is, the condition of the water. We just talked about Mississippi recently, right? Mississippi. And they had a water crisis. Then you had places up here in the north, in the northeast, same thing. Water's all messed up and all of that. And what comes along with that? Depression. You understand what I'm saying? All kinds of stuff. Then you start going into the northwest, up in Washington State, for example. You got the same stuff going on, where except for the fact that what they're testing, when they're testing the drinking water, they're finding residue of all kinds of antidepressants, all kinds of pharmaceuticals. This is all in the drinking water. So when you're drinking that water that's coming out of your faucet, you're also bringing on all of that stuff that people are imprinting on it, either through their butt cheeks or other ways, whatever they're putting in it, it's still coming through. Now, we just heard the guy says, oh, the water is so clean, we have to add stuff to it. Well, again, that's still not natural. That's still not a natural way of getting your water. When they have to add stuff to it, you better be very nervous and you better be very afraid of that, because that in itself isn't natural. It isn't. And so this is why, for here, we've been saying, listen, bump all of that. Go to find an actual source that you're getting it straight out of the ground, and there's none of that confusion being added, nothing. You know what I'm saying? And try to get it as close to the tap as possible. And I've even seen people do studies on the more bends that you have on your water piping and all that, how that also plays a role, like he was just saying, in the breakdown of the structure and the water. You know what I'm saying? So it can be very deep. So when we're telling you, hey, listen, go find a spring, we're not just saying that, in the event of an emergency, we may bring it up for that reason, when we're in that conversation. But this thing, as you can see now, hopefully by now you begin to understand, it's a lot deeper than what we, than just having backup water. You're actually taking on memory, if you will, things that have been imprinted, on that. So let me share with you. I have one slide here that I want to show you, and this kind of just goes over what I was just telling you. All right. So here you go right here. So what you see is, wastewater. I'll just make this bigger here. From toilets, sinks, tubs, and washing machines, passes through bar screens to remove larger debris. The water then enters primary clarifiers, where solids settle to the bottom of the tanks. Next, the water undergoes biological treatment, where microorganisms break down organic materials. The next step is the water is then disinfected to remove any remaining bacteria. And then it goes here. It says, at this point here, the water is ready to be discharged to the lakes, streams, and rivers, or to be used for irrigation. But to make it suitable for drinking requires a few more steps. Then you go here. The treated water now passes through filters that remove the tiniest of contaminants like viruses or pharmaceuticals by reverse osmosis. Finally, ultraviolet is used to fully disinfect the water by scrambling the DNA of microorganisms that might still be living in it. And then, and this is this highly treated water is now pure, clean, suitable for distribution. But so the reason why I'm showing you this, family, again, is that they want to create this, because you don't have to do this. This does not have to be done. You don't have to reuse wastewater. There's a lot of water out here, family. If I had thought about it, I would have shown y'all the amount of aquifers. Those are underground, like literally caves, if you will, full of water. That's all over the country. That's untapped. And the reason why in many cases these areas are untapped is because of local laws. It's because of someone may own the rights and all that. It's all this other stuff, that's out there. And and the other thing too to keep in mind is when it comes to bottled water as well. Just because it's bottled, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's, what am I trying to say? Bottled water. Now, if it's spring water, that's different. But bottled water, on the other hand, if it's just regular drinking water, keep in mind, it's probably going through this process as well. So it may be bottled. It may have a nice snow-capped mountain on top of it. But on the real, there's a high chance it could be recycled wastewater. They will never tell you that on the label, right? So anyway, these are things, again, this is why we're encouraging our people, to really take notice and take interest in, the stuff that you take in your bodies. You know what I'm saying? Especially when it comes to drinking water. Okay, so we're going to stay on that note. What I think I'm going to do is I'm going to take a short break. And what I'm going to do when we come back, I'm going to go over here. You can't see where I'm pointing to, but we're going to go over to this other section of our little tiny studio, if you want to call it this. And what I want to do is I'm going to show you, we're going to talk about honey and something very interesting about honey that I discovered. So let me see if I can find something I can play here that will give me enough time to get set up for that. Okay, hold on for a second. Let me see what I got here. And yeah, there we go. All right, so I'll go ahead and put on here. All right, so give me a moment here, family, and then I'm gonna head on over there and show you guys what I'm talking about, okay? Okay, I think we're back now. I think we're good to go. All right, so what we're gonna do now is we're gonna take a look. We're staying on the same theme. Like we just talked about how water has certain properties in it where it can keep it stores memory, right? And so now we're gonna look at its honey also has something very similar to it as well. And it's not just honey though, all right? So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna head on over here and I'm gonna show you something. Let me kind of turn this off here and just kind of bear with me as I'm getting my bearings over here, okay? So let me turn this microphone all the way up and my phone is over there. Okay, so. Okay, so I'm assuming you guys can hear me. So, all right, so what we're gonna do now is I'm gonna show you what you're looking at right now is just a bowl with and then some water over there, right? Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I am going to get some honey. All right, so this is just some honey, 100% raw honey. I think I'm gonna need someone's help here, so give me just a moment, okay? I'm gonna put this down. It's gonna go dark here for a moment. And can you hold this? Cause I'm gonna all right. So there you go. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add this honey right there. Okay, sit that over here. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add some water. Make sure my mic is on. Okay. All right, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna swish it. And watch what happens when I swish as I'm swishing it. Pull back some so I can see what I'm doing. All right, it's gonna take a minute here. All right, can you see that? All right, let me switch it some more. All right, can you
not hold up? They hold the bowl up, tilted away from the light.
Yeah, it only stays for a few minutes.
Yeah, they're not seeing. I don't know if they're seeing that. Look at your monitor.
Oh, hold on.
And I'll tell you what. Yeah, right there. All
right, wow. So it disappears. Okay, so I'm gonna put this down and let me switch cameras here. Hold on, because that's all I'm gonna show on that and let you go. All right, so sorry, here we go. All right. So what you saw there, did you notice it was just, and I put some honey there, that very faintly you're seeing like some hexagons or octagons forming. Now that's just, you saw what I did is I took the water and or rather the honey, I just put it right in that bowl. And then I put I added some water and swished it for a few moments. And then all of a sudden the shapes just automatically just start coming together. Now, very interesting. What does that remind you of? It reminds you of a couple of things. It's very reminiscent of a honeycomb, right? But it's also reminiscent of something else. Because some people, again, there are some people out here who just ferociously were like, that's not it. Honey doesn't have memory. It doesn't have memory. I mean, they were going in. It was just one page I was on. I was like, oh, okay. I mean, kind of like the people who had that same energy about the vaccine stuff. You better take the vaccine. It's not all of that, right? But they had that same energy. Honey doesn't have genetic memory. But honey does actually have DNA in it. Where do you think honey gets that from? Honey gets that from what? Pollen. Pollen comes from what? Plants. Okay? Now, when you take a look at this right here, if you've ever seen the cell wall of a plant, it looks just like what I just showed you. This is where I would suggest that is what we're looking at. Not so much the honeycomb, the honeycomb itself, but it's more reminiscent of this, what we're looking at right now. And here's another picture right here of a closer look of that. And it doesn't just work with honey, but it also, you can get the same thing will take place if you use agave, if you also use syrup. Now, agave, syrup, or even corn syrup, all of these things come from what? Plants. So again, this is what I personally believe based on my own personal research on this, is that I do believe that what we're witnessing, like when you do that whole thing with the water, what I just showed you in the case with the honey, is what we're seeing is it is remembering this right here, that it's the root of it comes from plants. And when you, like I said, and what's happening is when you're putting that water on there, it's actually it's formulating into that same cell pattern that you'll find in plants. That's what I believe. Okay. Some people, like I said, you on YouTube land, so everybody's a scientist. So you're going to find some people, oh no, this is fake science and this or that or whatever. But these are the same people that were saying, I mean, very ferociously, like I said, again, that no, there's no DNA in honey. And that's a complete lie. All you need to do is do a quick Google search and it will dispel that real quick. The DNA actually comes from the pollen that bees use in order to make honey. So I believe that's what you're seeing as well. So here we have another example of memory, if you will, that I strongly believe that's stored in a very fluid form that we're putting on, like in the case of, that you're putting on your teas, that you're putting on your toast, that you're putting on your whatever it is that you're using to sweeten up on your pancakes or whatever. Huh?
Can I take a picture with this or no?
No, okay. Unless you use your phone or something.
Okay. I texted you.
Yeah. So, but yeah, so I wanted to show you that as well, and just how remarkable that really is. And that when you're ingesting these, whatever it is, be it food, today we're talking more so water or liquid, that it's not just food that just tastes good or something that, it's not just that. We're not just talking about that. It's actually stored information that you're taking in. When you put this stuff in your body. Nicole, let's see, she took a picture. Let me see if it comes out. Okay, so this is a picture of it. Never mind the lights that you see there on your right hand side, but this gives you an idea here. It's, I've done it where it's formed a lot more defined than this, but this gives us a general idea of what it looks like. Again, that's, like I said, again, the same thing with even molasses. It'll do the same thing with molasses as well. All of these are plant-based. So when you're eating these foods, you're also taking on the programming, if you will, that the Most High put in there. So this is why, when we talk about Bill Gates and all these other demonic beings out here that are adding all kinds of stuff, this is the kind of so they want to add their own imprint to your food and to your water. So this is why we say, again, getting back to the topic of water, so critical for you to make sure that you're sourcing your own water to the best way you can, to the best of your ability, because what they want to do, again, is they want to put their imprint in the water. I was thinking the other day, now this has nothing to do with water. Do you remember doing a whole lockdown thing? And they were saying how many people were depression went straight up. A lot of people was dealing with depression. I want y'all to understand just how deep and how slick the technologies are out here. Now, grab your tinfoil hat, but it's all true. Now, on this platform, we talk about the importance of sunlight. And trust me, family, we're just getting started with that whole topic of sunlight and why it's so important. You're with sunlight, there's different frequencies that come from sun. See, I like looking at things from a scientific perspective. Not because it makes me look or sound smart or anything like that, but I really want to know the inner workings of how these things and why they are what they are. We wake up in the morning, we see the sunlight, and we just, oh, it's sunny out. But we fail to investigate on our own all what's taking place when we are exposed to sunlight. There is all kinds of information that's being transferred from the sun to our bodies. The same thing with moonlight. It's the same thing as well. Moonlight has its own frequencies that it's broadcasting. This is why you had some cultures that would worship the sun because they understood this. I'm not telling you to do that, of course, but there's all kinds of information that plants are gathering so that they can get the instructions they need on how to grow, how to live, and all this other stuff. Well, if plants are getting that instruction, what instructions are you getting or not getting? So when they did this whole lockdown thing, they wanted to do everything they could to get you away from that while they were doing what? And they're still doing it. Like today, I'm sitting up there looking at the sun, and they always make it a point to fly their planes next to the sun while they're spraying all that stuff. Oh, we got to cover the sun because it's dangerous. It's dangerous. I tell you, it's dangerous. We got to do something. Again, they got to create a whole situation that they can only control and only they have the solution for. And so again, they got to put their demonic stuff up there. And remember, I told you, if you saw the community post I posted this week, the two chemicals that they put that they're spraying up there is it's right up here. I got it up here, and it spells out Baal. And let me get it up here. It's right here in case you didn't, in case you missed it. These are two of several chemicals that they're spraying in our atmosphere. Right here, it's barium and aluminum. Both of these components are, along with a few others, are in the concoctions. And don't take my word for it, family. You can say, "Oh, you just a conspiracy," or whatever. There are papers on this, family. They've done tests. They have gone up in the planes and they have tested it. The guy, Dane Wigington, look him up. He actually went and got a plane, a scientific plane, where he's up there. They're taking aerial tests of the air up there. And these are the main chemicals that they're finding up there. And it just so happens to spell out Baal. It just so happens to spell that out. It just so happens. So this is their way of imprinting their belief system, their spirituality in what we eat, what we drink, and in this case, in what we breathe. So if they're doing that, remember, I personally believe that just Satan can only copy the original. He can never be an original. So he's got to copy what's already there. And this is what these wicked people are doing. They can never create another human. They can only copy one. And so they want to, and so what are they doing now with the, with the, putting it in your body and all of that? What are they trying to do? They want to put their imprint on you so that ultimately you can be controlled. That's ultimately what it's about. So us showing you these things, like we just showed you the water, for example, right? And what they're doing with the water, all right? And why it's so important to make sure that you're sourcing your water, at the source and being very active with that, number one. And then also we showed you as far as the, the honey. We just use honey, for example. But like I said, the same experiment can be done with corn syrup, with syrup, with molasses, and you're going to come up with the same thing. If you do a search online, because see, I like to look at both sides. You're going to find people saying, oh, that's not real. Nothing holds memory and all this other stuff. Meanwhile, they're spending millions and millions of dollars to do the same thing. So you figure that out. Okay. So anyway, I think Nicole, hopefully you hear me. There was a couple of things she wanted to show, a couple of other things she's going to show over there. And that would be it. But I wanted to take the time and really walk you through this so that you can kind of see for yourself on just how amazing his creation is and why we definitely need to take, especially care on what we put in our bodies, So let me see here in the meantime. So again, if you're brand new to the page, welcome. Make sure you check out our Facebook page, because we do have a Facebook page. It's SambaTree, and you can check that out there. But also, more importantly, go to the website, which is SambaTree.com, and there you'll find a lot of things. In fact, I think we just added some things tonight on there, so you might hear about that this evening. Okay, so yeah, so this is our web page, our Facebook page, SambaTree.com, and then also we have the store, which is SambaTree. All right, so you good? All right, so let me go ahead and switch cameras here. And I need you to hold it this time, I think. I need you to hold. I need you to be. Okay, sure, no problem. Let me get my camera situation here, and one can you hold it up so that I can see it? Sure. And then I'll be over there. Okay, all right. So you hold it there. I'll be over there. I'm gonna do the whole microphone thing here, family. So hold on for just a second.
Hey.
Okay, good. All right, you can be heard.
Can we see what we're looking at, though?
Oh, how about that? You're looking at a chair. All right, there you go.
Okay.
All right, so you want to talk?
Yeah, I just wanted you were talking about Chia earlier, and they used to, I don't know if they still sell them. They used to sell chia seed drinks in the store, but I just wanted to show how we do chia at home, right? So these are the chia seeds. I'm gonna get close in there. All right. So these are chia seeds. If you've never used any, okay, just little seeds. And this is about a tablespoon, Gonna drop that in half a mason jar of water. Give that a stir. Oops, I'm being messy here. Give that a stir. You can add lemon essential oil. All right, just a drop. Or you can add lemon juice, to your chia water. Or, can you hold that, Dwayne, for a second? Dwayne, and the screen goes black. 1 second, y'all. 1 second. No, I'm covering the camera. Can you just brush that out? 1 second. Dwayne made some sun tea this week. Did you post pictures of it?
Yeah.
I think he made passion fruit. It was passion fruit sun tea. And so what I did is I just added some chia. 1 second, you'll see it, and it'll pop up in just a second. All right, I just added some chia seeds to that passion fruit sun tea. All right, I'm going to give it a stir here in a second. You can see. And the chia seeds, you know, they just swell up and they kind of create this jelly-like, kind of like they become a little, I don't know, a little gelatinous a little bit. All right. And I don't know, I kind of like the texture in the drink. You can add some ice to your drink, some chia seeds, and you're getting all that good fiber and protein and omega-3s, right? Hold that up. You see them kind of suspended in there? There we go. See how they're kind of suspended in there, kind of in the drink? Dwayne, you want to switch the camera? Don't worry about this. You want to switch the camera and taste it? So if this is not, a part of your routine, if it's not something that you're used to, you should try it. You should definitely try it. Let him taste that. And the last thing, how would you describe that texture, Dwayne?
I actually like it. I like because it's not.
Does it taste slimy?
No, yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. It's like, I know for some people, when you think, like, I don't like okra. Okay. Now that's a far extreme of what I'm talking about. That's a far, far extreme, when it comes to that. There's nothing slimy about this at all. The little tiny sleeves, they're a little gelatin. I actually like it, because there's no taste to it. But yeah,
they don't add taste to whatever it is you're drinking. And so, and Dwayne mentions we don't have chia seeds. And the thing is, you all, we have our suppliers that have an abundance of seeds, nuts, all kinds of organic products that we offer. We just don't have everything on the website. We introduced the hemp protein, but I had not put the chia seeds on the site. But I went ahead and put them on the site. If some of you do, want to try this out. And Dwayne, you can pull up the site. I just want to make sure that for some of you that do not know, I want you, it should be, hopefully it'll be right there under, on the gardens or under new arrivals. You see it there. Then you can go under the gardens. While he's pulling it up, because I just refreshed it. But anyway, real quick, so we can let you all go. The benefits of chia seeds, if you were not aware, all right, supporting healthy skin, digestive health, that's huge for the chia seeds, right? Because it's loaded, the chia seeds are loaded with fiber, loaded with fiber. So it helps your stools to keep moving, all right? Heart health, excellent, because the chia seeds are able to reduce inflammation and decrease a lot of the risk factors of heart disease, such as cholesterol and blood pressure. So it helps you lower your blood pressure, balance your blood sugar levels as well. All right.
It's going to be on page 2. So when you go to gardens, yeah, for now, when you go to gardens, if you're looking for it, scroll down. She's going to move it, but I'm just letting you know.
Yeah, you can click on it while you're there. Yeah.
But go ahead.
Building stronger bones because it has calcium and manganese in it. Manganese aids in weight loss. All right, because it's an excellent plant-based protein food. It's helping you cut your cravings, like you heard Dwayne say. He said, "Man, last night and he said to me, he said, I'm used to eating dinner around this time, but I'm not really hungry." It's because he was taking those chia seeds during the day. So his hunger was curbed, right? Because he was getting that fiber, he's getting protein, and he's getting omega-3s. So your body is getting what it needs, so you're not hungering, looking for snacks and everything else. And it even is really good for your oral health, and swishing chia seeds in water, or even in your mouthwash, and swishing it around in your mouth. So chia seeds, very, very, very good. I did go ahead and upload them on the site if anybody wants to try them out. And then if you could go, Dwayne, to oils. I uploaded, it may be on the second page. No, there it is right there at the bottom. Click on that last one at the bottom. I uploaded lemon essential oil. This is another really good oil that you can use in your home. There's tons of uses. I put a link to an article. You can take a look at all the different uses of lemon essential oil. And we're going to be uploading other essential oils, grapefruit, lime, tons of essential oils, because I've really been sleeping on those, and they are excellent, that we can be adding to our house, to our diet. So anyway, I just wanted to mention that as well.
So just to wrap this up. So what we're talking about, just in a nutshell here, is we're dealing with, a system that is madly rushing to imprint our food and to imprint our water. And what we was able to show you was how they're doing it. And, it should be very concerning when you look at especially what they're doing, how they're reprocessing. I'm laughing, but I'm like, this is nuts. You're taking toilet water. They're talking about from toilet to tap. That's disgusting. And like I said earlier, and I'm going to say it again, do not, I repeat, do not buy into this whole nonsense that we're running out of water. We're not running out of nothing. When you look at our trees out here, when you look at nature in itself, nature is going to go through its cycles. See, this is why it's important to spend time in nature, because you have people out here that will look at California. Oh, they're going through a drought. Oh, look at what's happening there. Oh, it's judgment. It's happening, y'all. And just recently we find out, I think it's in Central Valley area, they said they're getting record rain. They're getting record water supply now. I mean, they said now they're getting all their water back. So now how does that fit? You understand what I'm saying? So my point is this, is that this is why nature, what he has put in nature, many of the answers when it comes to our livelihood, these earth suits that we're wearing here, we're going to find those solutions there to understand who he is. It's all embedded in all of that, and we're not worshiping nature. It's just a wonderful laboratory that he's gifted us with, where we can learn about things that will help us, both physically and also spiritually. And also, but these wicked people also see what this master artist has done by coming up with their own technologies to imprint their own stuff on it. So I hope you got something out of this evening, this broadcast, and I hope it made you think about some things and really see the importance of why you really need to be involved in, your food and your water as well. So we'll be talking more about this, in the coming days, probably next week. I'm not sure. I want to really talk about, you saw this week you saw what I posted on our community page. I did sun tea. Now, this is my first time doing it. I've had sun tea in the past, but it was a long past. This was at like my grandparents' house many, 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 many years ago. I was a little thing. I remember my grandmother sitting the tea out there and letting it sit out all day. And I think it was so good because they put a lot of sugar up in that thing too. That's right. That's probably what really made it good. But why is it important? And it's not just tea. You can also set your water out there as well, and charge your water. What are you doing when you're setting your water out or your tea out there? You're allowing nature, the sun, to program that water the right way. And what it does is am I saying it right? Alkalizes. It alkalizes the water. Did you know that? It alkalizes the water. So skip that mess that they get in the grocery store. Oh, it's alkalized water. Hey, get it. It's $20, but it's alkaline. No, you ain't got to do that. Get you a mason jar, fill it with some fresh spring water, and then sit it outside for a good part of the day, and that water will naturally become alkalized. Ain't that something? So there you go. So anyway, so I hope you guys got something out of it. We'll be sharing a lot more of this stuff on our community page, on Facebook, and just all over the place. I'll be, we trying to, as we get it, family, we're going to putting this information out here. We got some very exciting things coming up in the very near future. And as we get things together, we'll tell you more about it. But family, this ain't just a local thing here. We're looking to get all of our people on board when it comes to getting our health and our wellness together. So family, again, thank you so much for tuning in to this broadcast. This will be available over on the SambaTree YouTube page. And it will also be available, of course, on our Facebook page, the SambaTree Facebook page. If you have any questions at all, any questions, always, you can feel free to email us at SambaTree@protonmail.com. SambaTree@protonmail.com. Email us, okay? Take care. We love you.